Hey guys, welcome to Flash Flick Reviews. This is Advait here, and today we're going to talk about the fourth episode of Loki. The third episode ended on a very high note with Sylvie and Loki being stuck on Lamentis with no escape from the apocalyptic event that would happen in the future. And so it was a pretty high point to end on, and so constantly the question, how are they going to escape? And that is what is answered in this episode, and it has a lot of things going on. There is this investigative route about a particular detail that we get in the previous episode regarding the TVA. We get to know that essentially most of the officers of TVA are variant rather than them being created specifically to work for the TVA. And so that's an interesting revelation that all plays out in this episode very well. Mobius is back, he's hunting down Loki and Sylvie, and like lot of things happen which I really want to talk about. So I'm going to get into spoilers. If you haven't watched the fourth episode of Loki, then this is your warning. Watch the episode, come back, continue the video, but this is where you get your warning. I'm gonna talk complete spoilers. So both of them are stuck on Lamentis, and essentially a new branch comes out in the sacred timeline, which we can pretty much figure out early on in the episode. It's because of the relationship between Sylvie and Loki. Both of them begin to love each other, which is weird in a way, because Sylvie essentially is a variant of Loki himself. So Loki is essentially loving himself, which causes a different branch in time. Though it was slightly predictable, it was neat the way they carried it forward. And so essentially Mobius gets to know where both of them are, and they come back and get them. And I like that, honestly. I like this episode a lot. And one of the major reasons is they bring Mobius and Loki to the center of the episode. I always loved the dynamic between Mobius and Loki, their back and forth, the dialogue between them. That's what stood out in this show for me, and I think they do a great job putting that front and center in this episode. A lot of things happen. I mean, Mobius gets to know that TVA's officers are essentially variants, but he carries forward his own investigation. He gets to Ravonna's device and he checks through it, and the information checks out. There happens an interesting team up. Mobius teams up with Loki, and he also calls for teaming up with Sylvie and going against the TVA. And that's just an amazing moment. But then something happens. Ravonna barges in with some of the TVA's officers, and they just straight up kill Mobius. Mobius was honestly one of my favorite characters on the show, like maybe even number one on the show, because I thought he was very likable. Owen Wilson gave an amazing performance, just a great character, and they just ended him. But again, I'm holding out hope because he's just a variant. Now that they have revealed that aspect, there is a huge chance that we get to see more of Mobius in the future. I am pretty sure they're going to do that, because a character who is such a likable presence, I don't really think they're going to just throw him away. But it was still emotional. It was very important to the core of the episode, because as the story progresses, you see that impact on Loki, which I think is very well done. Again, like all of the writing stuff, the cinematography, technically this show is amazing. So yeah, moving forward, Loki and Sylvie finally get to meet the timekeepers, and we look at them, and then something struck as odd to me. Something felt odd looking at the timekeepers. Once they enter the chamber, all of those three timekeepers just look so goofy and weird, and the CGI was just okay-ish. That did bother me, but then they soon resolved that in a way that I didn't expect, honestly. So essentially there's a huge fight that breaks down between a few of the TVS guards, and Ravonna's in there, and Loki and Sylvie, all of them are just fighting. Sylvie just straight up kills one of the timekeepers, and like that's a huge thing. Like just like that, you just kill a timekeeper. Of all the suspense that you've been building towards that, that's essentially what I thought then. But then later it is revealed that all of the timekeepers are essentially artificially created, which is insane. I just felt that that route was slightly over the top. What I'm feeling is the timekeepers never really existed, someone else created them. I was getting the vibe of that, but the way they did it by putting fake timekeepers and keeping them as cyborgs, I don't know, it just felt very weird. And again, oh my god, Loki also gets wiped away by Ravonna. So that's a huge plot point now. Sylvie's holding Ravonna at the stick and she's like, tell me everything, and that's where the episode stops. Like, wow, that like, I just want to watch the next 2 episodes. I can't wait, honestly, after this. And also, there is a post-credit scene where Loki wakes up at some place and then he sees different variants of himself. There are multiple other people that look like Loki, but they're variants. I mean, where did you wake up? Who are those people? lot of questions. This episode does give us a few answers. It is emotional at the core because of Mobius's, all of that happening, and it is emotionally powerful, but it also keeps us engaged enough that I just want to watch the next 2 episodes. I think Loki is going great. Let's see how it all wraps up. I just can't wait for the next 2 episodes. So that's my thoughts on episode 4. Put down in the comments what you guys thought about this episode. Go full spoilery, doesn't matter. Just put in a small tag saying that you're going to give out spoilers so that other people don't stumble on it by chance. But whatever, just put down everything in the comments. Consider giving this video a like, hit that subscribe button, share this video, and I'll see you again